Thank you for stopping by the Random Green podcast. Today, I wanted to talk about a little bit of, sometimes I think even the greatest individuals out there, not the greatest individuals, but even the greatest theists, even the most dedicated individuals to their craft of believing, are have doubts. Now, it's very interesting that in the Bible it talks about Thomas doubting seeing the resurrection of Christ. And, it's very funny, though. Not very funny, but to me, that's what even is more of a brings out the skeptic in me when I see, oh, Thomas doubted. It's almost like a story had to be inserted so you would believe, because it's very fishy the way it, no pun intended with Christ. I mean, and the fishes and all that. How he fed the five with people with five. Yeah. Anyway, no pun intended there, but I digress. As usually I do on this channel, Random Green. Anyway, like I say, the fact remains is that you have to take everything on faith. And why does it have to be everything on faith? Why? I think it even goes further in when it talks about in the Bible. I don't know what scripture it is where it says that the demons believed and they shuddered. Well, if the demons believed and they shuddered, that should make everybody believe, because no, it's actually what it is it's more fear mongering, I think. Certain groups read it a certain way, and certain groups read it a different way. When they read that scripture, I think the bottom line is they shudder because they're demons. Did you ever think about that? They shudder because of the fact that they're demons. But some groups will say, well, you have to believe a certain belief is not enough, so therefore, X amount of therefore this is what you have to do. So different different interpretations. Not necessarily interpretations, but different I guess interpretations and different ways of coming about certain scriptures is what groups go by. And, that's just the way it is, But I believe that what it talks about to the scripture that talks about the demons believe and they shudder, it's to infer that they are demons, not because, that's why they shudder. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why. So it's like this. Uh, Getting back to Thomas, how he doubted is a story. It almost makes me say, and almost the way I read it and the way others read it too, it only makes me a skeptic even more sometimes. Now I'm a theist and I still believe, and I take it on faith, because when it comes down to it, they're the prophecies. I guess they're compelling enough, but do we not have other ways of looking at that? I mean, so the prophecies can be some are very weak. I mean, if you prophesy about Christ in a book and then fulfill it in the book, it's not really prophecy. That's kind of self fulfilling prophecy. Now, getting back to again to getting back to the book of, I don't know where Thomas doubted. Might be in all three the accounts. All books were, or the book that about doubting Thomas. It's I think it's an allegory about what the Bible is writing, saying, well, you shouldn't doubt. Thomas doubted, so therefore you shouldn't doubt. Thomas saw the events. Thomas saw the miracles happen, so therefore you shouldn't doubt. And which makes the question, which begs the question, and it's a story. It only signifies it's a story. You see where I'm going with this? So, is it a true story, or just a made up story, or a little bit of both, or was it the whole thing an allegory? You know, let the reader use discernment, I guess, is what you're supposed to. Again, there's no way of verifying it. You if you're a theist, you have to take it on faith. That's the only logical way of looking at it. You don't have verified proof. Now there are certain things in like archaeologists that they can go back and look. Well, during the Red Sea, they found certain fragments or something of soil that would signify that an event had happened, but nothing really concrete. Nothing really concrete. It's all up in the air. It's all, it's what it is faith. And faith doesn't really come with evidence. Of course, the Bible's going to say that the faith is sustained, or is the, gosh, what is that now? Faith is the reality of, well, it's the evident demonstration of the realities, which, of course, the Bible is going to say something like that. It's not going to say, the Bible's not going to say the faith is evidence. It's not going to say that, which in some ways they're saying that, but without being too presumptuous, they'll say faith is the reality of the demonstration of the evident things to come. Something like that. Now that I didn't do that verbatim well, but whatever. But you have to, again, take it on faith. You have to take that thing on faith. You have to take everything on faith. Now, it's really not the so-called prophecies, and it's really not anything in the Bible that makes me believe. It's the fact that we're on, we have carbon dioxide or CO2, and we have all the right elements of life on planet Earth. But again, does it bring evidence? No, that's why I'm convinced. We live in a Goldilocks zone. I mean, pretty much compared to the rest of the known universe. I mean, you can't live on, just our solar system. But again, is that good enough to satisfy the biggest skeptic? No, of course not. I mean, there's nothing that can really satisfy the biggest skeptic unless it's revealed. It has to be revealed somehow in order to make the biggest skeptic believe. There has to be enough verifiable evidence, but again, I'm still a theist and not. But if Thomas doubted, that should really say something about it. That the whole thing could be a farce, or at the very least, that nobody should be punished for not believing.